line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow.
It's one of the most famed tracks in all of motorsports, if not possibly all of America. This track is what got really everything started in the motorsport world, for the ovals to the road courses in the United States and all across the world. This place is truly a sight and a spectacle unlike any other. Welcome to the Brickyard in Indianapolis Motor Speedway for today's showcase of GOAT Racing League's Global Strategy Team Next Gen Cup Series live on P10 Racing TV. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader, Christian Trying to join you guys here today. We are going to be looking at a pretty tough one today. This is the final race before we enter the playoffs here, so I do need to make one little note about that. That was a mistranslation there from our editors, as well as from the folks that put up the league photo there. So apologies in advance, but nevertheless, let's get them all settled up and squared away. On the pole, the number 45, it'll be Dayton Taylor. The outside, the 19, it'll be Tyler Dalton. Row number 2 in the 43, Samuel Rell. The outside, the 01 is Nathan Bigart. Row number 3 in the 9, it's Bobby Wetzel. The outside, the number 12, Aaron Action Jackson. Row number 4 in the 15, Joe Hudson. The outside, the big 8, Maurice Burnett. Row number 5 in the 10 will be Ryan D. Cook. The outside, in the 74, Ryan Wortman. Row number 6 in the 60, it's John Higman Jr. On the outside, the number 12, or the 44, it will be Christoph Hall. Row number 7 is piloted down by the 22 of Alan Wild. The outside in the 11 is Ron Holyfield. Row number 8 in the 16, Cameron Stearns. The outside in the 23, Charles Van Schaik. Row number 9 in the 54, it's Cameron Dario. The outside in the 18, Philip Schmitz. Row number 10 is the 39 of Kevin England. To the outside in the 36, Richard Crane. The final starter today is the 17 of Robert Tucker. That is your field of drivers as we get them all rallied up and ready to go racing. Stage breaks at lap 20 and lap 60. From there, we go the rest of the distance. Remember, there's 112 laps of the distance. Field of drivers right now, just getting the urge, just getting themselves acquainted for it, getting themselves situated out. Again, this is a very tough race here, guys. This is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval, if you will, or as I called it, the IndyCar Oval. Obviously, if you look on iRacing right now, it's the open wheel oval. So, and I'm pretty sure, and we did get permission to broadcast this race. The only thing we're not allowed to broadcast is the actual Indy cars. So the Delaras, the DW12s, DW18s, and all that fun stuff. We weren't allowed to do those, but they never said nothing about the track. So, I don't know if I will call it the Indianapolis Motor Speedway all that much to avoid any issues from iRacing, but I know this is what they call the open wheel oval. So, just for the record, that is what we're going to give it. That's what we're going to call it. So, a crown jewel in the sport and a crown jewel in the virtual world about to be set sail. The next gen Cup cars, I believe, the first time we've ever seen these things here on this track. So I am curious to see how it all plays out, how they roll them down off the distance to the front straightaway here, looking for the green flag starting spot there by the yard of bricks. The line sets to the green. We're going race set. Stage 1, begin. A lot of hard racing right out of the gate for these guys. Man, drivers already trying to find some lines, trying to find some grip and ground. Nowhere to go and a lot of places to hide from here. Everyone right now looking early on for the early runs. I think the one big thing about this car here that's going to really force these drivers' hands, point blank, is going to be just the absolute nature of the beast. Passing with these cars on a one group track, aligned with this car as tough it is to race as it is, you best be hoping every single turn works out in your favor, and you better be hoping that you don't burn them up. Fuel stop's also going to be a bit of a ground clearance here. A lot of drivers are going to have to be very patient, very aware, and self-sufficient on how much fuel they decide to save or how much fuel they decide to burn up. See John Hickman Jr. already looking to try to get the Victrix number 60 ahead of the target Gillette number 44. Christoph Hall really having nothing to worry about the rest of the season. He's already locked into the playoffs thanks to his win at Talladega Super Speedway here. Charles Van Schaik, the Black Lives Matter number 23 right now, immediately trying to shoot and gun-ho it right up ahead, putting some drivers up in their place, up in their stakes. He gets it around the Wild Man Al Wild. Meanwhile, up ahead, Dayton Taylor in the number 45, holding it down from the 19, Tyler Dalton. The NC811 machine right now having a little bit of a ground clearance, a little bit of a runoff as Taylor continues to hold him back a little bit. Dayton again, though, he's already got a win in as well. But I mean, anything for this Menards number 45 Monster Energy beast, I think he would love nothing more than to be able to push 2 and 2 together here and have a great showing for himself, considering the overall technical nature and the overall passion and power you have got to have just to make sure this car is right where you want to place it at, right where you need it to be at. This long race, I think honestly probably is going to be the toughest race that these guys have to follow through. And maybe the last time they are here as well, from the way it sounds down there. Cameron Dario, Ron Holyfield right now clearing out the gas. Meanwhile, the 39 of Kevin England having a little bit of a showing back there in the pack. There he is. A little onboard camera there as we see him kind of rolling down. He's really going to have to be careful about hooking these corners up, because on the right rear and the right front, it's going to take a lot of damage just in those turns alone. And you can already see the power they're getting and all the drive off they're taking from that corner, just becomes so treacherous and so difficult. Philip Schmitz now looks like he's going to try to shoot from the inside on the wild man out on wild, but the interstate battery is number 18, not quite able to clear it. Ryan Spence, by the way, says let's go Sammy in the comment section. It's great to hear you there, Spence. Traveling up from the field a little bit, Robert Tucker, 4 spots up. Not quite Charles Ann Sykes is 5 spots up, but he is making a little bit of a decent charge here. The HendrickDarts.com for 5. Supposed to be in the 17 today, but got a bit of a different scheme out there, so got to go with what we see and what we work with here. We can't just go off the numbers on the sim racing cam because then it gets really confusing, so we just talk what we see on the car. England right now, definitely looking for a bit of a showcase here today. Meanwhile, Schmitz and Wild still at it. Wild into the wall a little bit, recovers, but does get the pass up. Schmitz taking control there. Nothing you can do about it. Just hope and pray, and then figure out what you're going to do from there. Up ahead, though, look at this. Big push coming from Bobby Wetzel and Tyler Dalton. And Wetzel looking to push the 19 ahead. He shoots the gap off, gets a big run there entering in the turn. Dayton Taylor, no help, no friends, no nothing. Hey, basically in his mind just got left high and dry. I mean, I don't know what else he could tell himself there. The Reign of Terror is your new leader. Man, that's got to be disheartening too. Knowing you had such a run there and such a little bit of speed, all of a sudden it gapped off and then pushed up like that. That's got to be tough to really get over. Again though, Dayton has plenty of time to catch him. He has plenty of opportunities to use on him here. Nathan Biggart and Sammy Orell, both drivers right now, they are currently doing each other a bit of a favor. And that's just sticking to their guns and sticking to their showcase here. Yeah, the gaps already now are starting to become a lot more difficult to really gap up and really take control from. I think a lot of it has to do with just this dirty airflow that rolls around this track and really puts everyone into this condition. You think about it, you condition yourself time and time again to get used to all that pressure, all that drive, and then next thing you know, you get slammed into the gas pedal and then put in a tough ordeal. What else can you really do? What else can you really find except just that little bit extra, that little bit more of control, temper, and speed and power to use up on the drivers? You hear that throttle rhythm too. You heard it a little bit there from Reese Burnett, but you heard just that subtle little change up and then back in the gas pedal. I think a lot of it has to do with just the overall conditioning that you know you're going to have to get the truck a little bit looser, and that's what really throws everyone off. Now you can see the gas right now starting to straddle up a little bit. Bobby Wetzel moving his way ahead here of Dayton Taylor. Tyler Dalton right now just trying to keep the lead and trying to keep the gap going. He's only got a few more laps remaining here in stage number 1. You know, the difficult thing right now, too, is, guys, you see a lot of drivers having to just make their momentum vacations and make their speeds up when they can. I think a lot of drivers are honestly going to be finding themselves more aligned up with others just to try to push ahead of the other driver when they can. This could be a very tough little deal here. Rolling up, 9 laps left to go. This time on by. Wetzel looks like he might be getting a little bit of a gap brewing there, kind of closing off. But he needs Dayton Taylor to help him out a little bit. And that's kind of the deal here. I think Dayton Taylor, if he doesn't help out Wetzel, I don't think he's going to have a chance to catch him. Meanwhile, back in the pack right now, Joe Hudson in the middle planes here of the top 10, 7th position. Sees what's going on between him and Hickman Jr. and Maurice Burnett there. Maurice right now just trying to keep his Air Jordans up to the challenge and up to the drive. Pumping it up and then airing it out. And that's for John Hickman Jr. here. Really, I mean, at this point, I think the biggest thing for him is just kind of focus. He knows the season's not gone well for him. He's had wins last couple seasons, but this season just is complete opposite, man. It's, in his mind, it's been a train wreck. Other than, I believe it was back at Atlanta Super Speedway where he had a good chance to actually win that one out. I haven't really seen the 60 in a like win-win situation or in a position that really kind of suits his driving style. And I don't know, maybe that's just the way the drive has played out for him or where that kind of hanged out into, but I think the same could be said for that 43 of Samuel Orell. Samuel literally this entire season, the entire race is so close, yet so far, only to be outdone or outmaneuvered or outtranked and outflanked by just one simple little mistake or by one simple little just issue. He hasn't just been able to put it together and get it all dialed in. And again, I really just kind of question, how much longer will he have to go through that? How much more endurance and more testing does he need to figure out before he finally can just get the car in the right place at the right time to get to victory lane? I mean, we know how chaotic racing is, I get that. But you still have to be a little bit faster than some other drivers. You still have to be able to know how to wheel the thing quicker than others. But again, strategies just seem like they're playing out so much more towards what the Reign of Terror has been able to figure out versus what some of the other guys have been kind of doing. And I think that really hurts them in their long conquest. Ryan D. Cook and Philip Smith right now hanging in the gap, trying to burrow up the speed. Neither driver right now letting off on the game and on the strategy here. They are all looking to just keep their adrenaline going. leaping him down. Only 5 laps left to go. Looking down right now, Cook, Schmitz taking a little bit of a drive off. Cook lost 3, Schmitz gained 5. Points gathered up. Charles Van Schaik has moved up currently 6th position so far as the BLM machine continues to look for more ground and effort and timing here. Joe Hudson now in his way. John Hickman Jr., Royce Burnett moving ahead of that 15 a little bit earlier at Thieves. Hickman Jr. looked like he might have had a little bit of a run on that right corner panel there of the 8 of Maurice Burnett. Didn't quite get the momentum though. Just charge up. Again, being a one-line track or one groove track as some would say, it's very tough to make passes here, guys. But not only that, but just trying to get a run on them into the corners and then out of the corners. It really touched them. It really just pushes their limits and their luck. And Hickman Jr. now got one on Burnett there coming down from the edge of the turn. Well, only 2 more laps remain here in stage number 1, and then this one will be marked in the books. Then we go to lap 60 for stage number 2, and then from there it's 112 laps in total. And right now, anyway, this is going to be a very tough deal here for Dayton Taylor and Tyler Dalton. Both drivers right now know what they've got to do and what they're up against. Dayton Taylor probably trying to look for a little bit of a drive off, looking for a little bit of a gap or 2 to hit up. Maybe gonna try to push his luck a little, maybe try to find the extra give here. Dalton is blocking though, and he's pushing him off. Dalton knows more stage points, the better. He'll have himself a chance to make the best in the brink of his racing ordeals. Coming off the line, down the back straightaway. Turn number 3 is going to settle him down. It's between Dalton and Taylor here. Which one gets the advantage? Taylor trying to get one more run through turn number 4. Didn't quite get him there. Dalton looks like, yep, that one will be his. Drafts it off. He sends it down. And Tyler Dalton takes stage number 1 home from Dayton Taylor. What a victory there for Tyler Dalton yet again in the reign of terror. Streak of stage wins and pressure on all drivers just continues to mount forward. Now this field of drivers here are just going to have to try to carefully plan out and settle themselves down a little bit. They knew they were in for a treat. They knew they were in for a ride. I don't think any of them were really expecting how crazy it was going to get, though. Pit road's certainly going to be testing a few drivers and making them decide their choice. I think this could make a bit of a I think this could make a very interesting case here for whoever wants to make the best out of their deal. Do you decide to go with tires, or do you decide to take fuel, or do you decide to do a bit of both? Obviously we got to take fuel, so choices are high on that. Let's see where this one plays out. Dayton, mistake early there. Got into pit road and did not get it all the way in proper position. Tyler Dalton just taking tires. Looks like Sammy Morrell and all them as well. Looking to take fuel. The 9. Bobby Wetzel a little bit later out with them. And Taylor finally getting himself out of pit road. Definitely a wild little pit stop there. Only 4 tires going on for Wetzel, Hudson, Hickman Jr., Dayton Taylor as well. And looks like Robert Tucker also going to take it. John Hickman Jr. I've already mentioned. Cameron Stearns. Looks like damage on Crane, Wortman, Schmitz, and England getting fixed up as well. They will take all 4 tires there. And being told by race officials as well, now they are going to go back to lap number 55 as the stage break, so not lap 60. I know it's kind of changed on the fly, and no, I am not making this up, driver fans. I am actually being relayed this info, so lap 55 is for sure the stage break. Down the back straightaway, ladies and gentlemen, here everybody is ready to drive this thing into the ground and ready to fire off into the sunset here. Stage number 2 going to kick it out. Lap 55 going to be the stage break. Then from there we race it out. There we go. Down the front straightaway here. Line them down. Dalton starts them, and they'll roll them through. Stage 2 begins. Samuel now parking it right behind him here. Big Art, Jackson, and all them in that hunt as well. These guys know they can't be making too many crucial mistakes here. They got to now start to put everything into the breadbasket here. Positioning will be high when they get to the end of it, and stage points can and will be crucial here. Dayton Taylor already knows that that mistake he made at pit road could cost him a good chunk of this race here. Johnny Hickman Jr. and Maurice Burnett going back at it a little bit here as they lean him back down that front straightaway. Dayton Taylor charging quick on Charles Van Schuyck though. Swinging it down the straightaways right now. Dalton just keeping his distance, keeping his ground up from Samuel Rell. Nathan Bigart right behind in the third spot. Dayton Taylor already charging back to fourth here. I think there's a lot of openings here. A lot of drivers just trying to keep a pace and trying to keep themselves under control. And man, the draft, I honestly wasn't too sure how that draft was actually going to be able to hold up on these cars, because we know how difficult they are just at Daytona or Talladega as it is, just to get a good push, get a good run. With a track like this, you really just need that slingshot exposition. But I think more than ever, it really all hinders on that straightaways as well, forcing other drivers to have to make crucial decisions and obligate themselves to the openings here. We get a little onboard camera here from the Reign of Terror as Harrell, Taylor, Bigart, Jackson hold the top 5 with him. Now I'm hearing a little shifting too from Dalton. Let's see if he shifts into the corner here. Didn't quite hear any shift in that one, so maybe he actually just get himself a little bit more rounded in certain corners and then versus others, and just making sure that the car will be able to roll off the turn as much as he needs it to be here. Rolling back down, Aaron Axel Jackson. He's losing a little bit of ground here. The number 12, man. You talk about a guy that just fell from grace. I really don't know who the heck else it could be. I really think, honestly, he had such a great season the last couple seasons, and then just completely got ripped out of his hands, ripped out of his own way. has just not been able to put it all back together and get himself out of that mess constantly, and preparing himself for whatever he can do, for anything he can. But it just never is what he pertains to go for and what he pertains to shoot out for. As they fire him down right now, Big Art still ahead of the gap, still ahead of the drive here. Looks like he might have a slight advantage here. And looks like John Hickman Jr. just took whatever advantage I just said he had a second ago. Let him down the straight. Remember, guys, we're not going to 60, we're going to lap 55 here. This will be the finish for these drivers on stage 2. Launching back around right now, Alan Wild, Philip Schmitz, those two. Man, it just seems like those two are going to go at it all day, don't they? Neither driver has left the other alone, neither one giving a chance to the one or the other over each other. They just want to see who can take the best out of it. Doubled in right now, Robert Tucker having a little bit of a go. Tucker's been pretty clean and accurate, honestly, today. I'm kind of surprised he's been pretty much where he's been at and where he's been actually holding it out to. But nevertheless, it seems like it's working. But he knows it's going to get a lot more difficult the longer this race plays out, the longer he has to try to fire the tires. Take a look at the best lap time here in just a little bit, but here's your car manufacturer lineup. A lot of Fords harvesting up that top 10 bracket. Only one Chevy in there, that's Samuel Harrell. Pretty much fell from grace. Dayton Taylor moving into the race lead. John Hickman Jr. also having to try and take over. Kind of surprised Dalton gave up the lead when he did here. But he is lost a lot of speed and a little bit more now with Bobby Wetzel jumping ahead. I wonder if he is trying to save fuel here in this case. It's not unlike him to just simply get out of the throttle and then call it easy from there. No. That's the reign of terror we're talking about. Well, Bobby Wetzel, though, he'll take it. More chances for points, more chances for positioning. That certainly will do you a number here. It could work, too. You think about it. He hasn't had the same season most of his other Sim 500 guys have. Matter of fact, he's been on kind of the receiving end of the lower category. Why that is, and it's pretty much as simple as he told me. I just haven't really been able to work with these guys and figure out the strategy like I want to. So what I've been doing is really testing the waters and being a little bit more acquainted on how I take each drive, each race, each momentous occasion, and just put it all together. Racking them up, Samuel Rell into pit road, and see the brakes rotor's just getting a little smoky underneath there. He was gassing on it, that's for certain. Trying to probably just get himself into pit road as quick as he can without getting a speed penalty. But yeah, now I can see why Dalton was backing off. He's obviously trying to save fuel where everyone else isn't. Look at that too, a little shift down in the gears for Philip Schmitz. Or shift into the gears, I should say, not down. He went up in there, went from 4th to 5th. Kind of surprised that it was kind of a timing spot he did it at, but it worked out okay because Randy Cook opened the door up for him in a big run off from that corner. Wetzel now catching quickly up to Hickman Jr. and as well to Taylor here, and right now I think those guys that were leading and those guys that were trying to hang on to the lead now know fuel is going to be a problem down to the inside. And Wetzel, that's a big jump. That's a big jump indeed. He got that second spot now locked in. Now he's after Dayton Taylor. Man, these guys right now, I'm kind of surprised some of the names that are hanging around here on this Indianapolis Motor Speedway race today. The Skins Big Oval has put a lot of guys to shame, put a lot of them into a classified situation. But of course, this place known for obviously the Indy 500 here, which has been well regarded as one of the most premier races of all time, but that same token, I think it honestly kind of falls in the same category of when we have the Coke 600, which again, this very famously is the double from the NASCAR side to the IndyCar side, and who can be able to perform both. Probably the craziest stunts about it is just no one's been able to truly win from either or, but they have sure put on a show doing it. Robert Tucker, the number 17 right now, not too bad right now in his pace and his control to get up to Schmitz. Schmitz right now doesn't want to leave any room on the table, but doesn't want to lose out this gap here. Charles Van Schaik, number 23, looking to throw the corner off on the number 01, and Nathan Bigart, nothing he can do about that. Yeah, a guy like Charles Van Schaik just making turns around you, man. I know you can tell at this point he's already in hot pursuit mode. What exactly is he in hot pursuit of? Well, it's real simple. He's in pursuit of that race lead. The only thing that stands in his way is just his own worst fears and his own worst enemy. Charles right now pretty close up there with Dalton right now, trying to stabilize it up. Dayton Taylor and Bobby Wetzel. The gap in the bridge between each other, not too far out. Lap number 39 approaching. We have now completed 38 laps here in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Gustav Hall looks like he might have some problems down there in the number 44, the old Butchcraft Gremlins starting to linger around as we go on board over 54, Cameron Dario. This is not a time, too, you want to see a driver like Hall just all of a sudden doing that at you, because then you're trying to make that pass, trying to make that runoff, and then you can't time when he gets glitching in and out like that. That's a tough deal. Hall, though, probably telling Dario, it's all right, just go ahead and make that pass. I know what's going on my end, so let's keep it clean, keep it real. Cameron Stearns right now in the mix, the number 16. I think this might be the third or fourth time we have seen him this season. Yeah, Stearns got a lot of fans out here, and he definitely brought a lot to the table for these drivers to really have a go up against. Well, Dayton Taylor may have only 15 laps remaining, but that is going to be a very tall order to succeed from. Again, considering he still needs to go to pit road, which he is going to do now. He'll let Bobby Wetzel, John Hickman Jr., all them sneak his way in. I think those that are saving up as long as they can are really trying to kind of force these drivers into a position or opening that they don't want to be in. Charles and Dalton now, those two close, I mean close to the edge of the brink. Remember, Dalton has had some wars here with Charles before, and it looks like Van Schaik wants to put another one on the plate. The Ford versus Ford battle ends with Charles Van Schaik ahead. Took a great deal of speed and a little stress off him just by being able to pull that move off. '44 Christoph Hall now, the Gillette Target Chevrolet. Right now trying to put a little bit of distance between him and the other Camaro down there. Oh, a little trouble off the corners though. Ryan D. Cook has come to a dead stop. And he's got a destroyed left front, and that does not look good. There's a lot of guys trying to plan pit strategies and time that one out, and that one may have just unfortunately destroyed any chances they hoped of trying to get that finished up. See what happened to Cook here. Oh yeah, I got a little aggressive there. You can see he went right in. Oh man. He knew he was in trouble. I think he was trying to stay in the gas. Try to get this 10 to square up. And instead he just ended up into the wall there. That was a nasty little hit. That's the toughest thing to deal with, man. It's just you get such a run there, gets such good speed. Next thing you know, all of a sudden this happens. Taking a look at it. It's kind of a bit weird the way the car kind of steered off from that, kind of turned in. I'm not sure if that was just a bit of a problem in his own cornering or what happened there, but that definitely did not look good, whatever he was up to. I thought originally he was trying to save it, but he may have had a lock steering in there, preventing him from doing anything with saving it. Pit stop certainly will be made now, unless these drivers are that crazy at trying to save what they've got. I've seen crazier things happen before, so you never know. rolling back down around on the turn number 4 here. Dayton Taylor, Samuel Harrell, Bobby Wetzel, John Higman Jr. All these guys right now taking full advantage of this restart. Chances are high. Remember, lap 55 is where we bring him to the end. Green is back on out. Talking about making some noise on the restart there. Every driver right there just trying to make a huge jump for position. Now we get to see how hard you'll race to try to get to the front. Robert Tucker has one of the lower I ratings here in this series, but he's standing extremely tall right now the way he's racing. But it is Dayton Taylor right now, number 45, looking for the stage points, looking to possibly bolster his chances in the next rounds because the playoffs are certainly coming for him. Robert Tucker, though, man, this guy is just absolutely eating up tire, and he's eating up some drivers, putting everything he's got right on the table, and now he's going to get trapped up between it. Charles Van Schuyck, Cameron Dario making a good use of the draft line and pushing them back. Welcome to the big leagues there, they say. Wide stance from the 16, wide up for the wall protection. Cameron Stearns gets a little too aggressive for his own good, perhaps, and now finds himself lowered back in the gaps. Schmitz and Stearns having a good little race out between those two. Samuel Harrell looking to gain more ground there on Dayton Taylor and the whole field, except for the 3 cars up there with a sizable chance. Everybody else is pretty much just trapped with whatever they can do. Back in, looks like Jackson trying to show he's got a little bit of maple moxie underneath him, maybe a little bit of that extra grip and takedown here. Just trying to show the drivers he's not out of this pace yet, but he's got the Ranter, he's got Nathan Becker as well right in front of him here. That could be a little bit easier said than done to work around. 7 laps remain. Yeah, it's kind of hard to really call this race without kind of like an open wheel car, without something that, you know, really to me kind of anticipates the realm of speed. But thankfully for us, we do have one thing I can show you that is going to be coming up. The Mercedes AMG W13 will be one of our new cars we'll see here in August, late August that is, as they will be here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval. Since they wouldn't allow us to bring the Deleras, the Pit Stall Series just said, well, the heck with it. We'll just create our own little unique series where we put those Formula 1 cars out on the track. So I can't wait to see that, see what they bring to the table there. It should be interesting to see here. Speaking of interesting to see, how about this? Samuel Harrell, a little dogfight between him and Dayton Taylor. And he forces Taylor up on the outside this time. Huge run. Whoa, a little bit of a bump and tagging in there. Looking around the town. Fans just getting a little love tap there. A lot of love from these guys. Harrell and Taylor dead even down across the plains. Charles Van Schuyck trying to stick with it. I don't think Dayton, though, is going to appreciate that little hit too much. I don't think I'd be too happy just the fact that I even took one from a guy like Samuel Harrell. But Samuel knows this may be one of his last chances to making the playoffs. This is a huge points day if he can gather this one up. And he's only got a couple more laps left to get through, so he knows there's a chance here. There is a golden chance. He's got 4 points right now. If he gets this, he'll put himself at 5. 5 points could be a very successful round of racing. It could be a successful chance at making it into the top brackets, but again, a win locks him in. And I think that's really what he's trying to get to right now. Bobby Wetzel with a little bit of company as John Hickman Jr. comes right towards him. The Victrix number 60 versus the Dodge Mopar number 9. And for record, no, they did not add a Dodge OEM to the Next Gen Cup car. It's just Wetzel has a very good little artist down there that made it look like a Dodge. Momentum looks like it may be shifting away from what the Reign of Terror was using earlier, and now maybe going towards the guys like Samuel Rell, Dayton Taylor, and Charles Van Slyke again. But as you can see, he is currently kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place. Samuel, though, he's pretty much all on his own. He's feeling mighty comfy here as now Dayton Taylor has company. Beautiful pass there from 3 into 4. Charles Van Slyke, the number 23, puts the fast lane to good use and makes all it works just to run it down the end. Nathan Begard and Philip Schmitz, little tango in the duo. Both drivers dueling hard, dueling well. Begard, though, nowhere to run away from Schmitz. Schmitz right now charging quick and charging hard. 11 spots up. Robert Tucker right up there with him a little while ago, but he fell back into in the midst of the packs here. And now Cameron Stearns even trying to have a little bit of a go at it. Little crack at that chance, at that shot. Now Wild throws the Commander at the 7519. Throws Dalton even further back now. The whole field behind him looking to put the Reign of Terror in his place. Dalton can't be too thrilled about that. But he knows he can't get really aggressive anymore. That pit stop certainly coversomely took over his race, took over his positioning. 2 laps to go. Samuel Rell, safe to say, he has completely taking this one up for grabs. 1 more lap to go here in stage number 2. A little bit of throwdown from Wetzel and Jackson. Jackson looking to possibly, and I mean possibly, kind of maneuver his way up ahead of him. Jackson looking to use the outside line for the run, and it looks like Wetzel trying to block it. But at the same time has to lay off a little and gives him plenty of room. Schmitz now even with a big jump on the inside, runs right off from Wetzel. They'll try to stabilize it up. Entering into the final corners. Gets a bit of run there. Wetzel forced again, and he's already getting a little bit loose and a little tight. But Samuel Harrell, no problemo here. Your stage number 2 win belongs to the 43 Samuel Harrell. Talk about that one. A little bit of a change of events there. Samuel Harrell, again, still looking for his first win. It would be really his biggest win, too. It seems like the Indy Oval is maybe showing him some love back, but it's still a long way to success. This Global Strategy Team Next Gen Cup Series presented by Jack Racing Collectibles and Cornhole Coffee. Big thank you to them, all of them, for help support the show. You see them on the bottom right of your screen there, kind of flicking around. Be sure to check them out as well from the Facebook links. Still now halfway done, halfway to go. What happens from here, we'll soon see. We'll be right back. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, coming down from turn number 4. Charles Van Schaik gonna lead him down with Dayton Taylor, Aaron Action Jackson, Nathan Biggart, Tyler Dalton, and Samuel Rell. They all want a piece of the pie to win it out. The final race of the regular season now kicks back down. We are underway. Talk about feeling the raw power coming off the line through the chicanes. Van Schaik leads it down with Taylor right behind him. Aaron Action Jackson just looking for anything at this point to go his way, hopefully. Samuel Rell immediately putting a bit of a liking to putting the Massage Envy up to the 7500 NC 811, number 19 of Tyler Dalton. Rolling them right through off the corners here, and the exits through the turns right now. Christoph Hall, big jump, big run there on Wetzel. Wetzel, though, not able to fully take control of it. Dario now looking to maybe making a little bit of a gap change here. Robert Tucker, his day is all of a sudden all but over with. Quite a shift and a change around for him. And speaking of shifting and change around, tomorrow night, we don't have one, but 2 races locked in for you guys here. Where we have a very special race series, the Porsche Cup Challenge, and European drivers coming to us here live at 3 Eastern, 2 Central, here on P10 Racing TV. Then to follow, of course, Fundamental Racing League and their truck series, with season still needing to be finished up. I think we're in for quite a show, quite a time out here, race fans. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a fun one tomorrow night here on P10 Racing TV. Biggart and Harrell right now have a little bit of a tussle down on the back straightaway here, lined up from their gaps and in their positions. Either driver wanting to make the better of the other. Huge run down that front straightaway. Nathan Taylor, Tyler Dalton, and Aaron Action Jackson going head to head. Jackson gets the advantage there, thanks to a little help from Dalton. But you can see too as well, Dayton Taylor probably starting to phase a little bit out. Samuel makes his move around him yet again, so Samuel's making some jumps back to the front. But they're all trying to hunt the man in black right now. The Black Lives Matter, number 23 for that matter. It is Charles Van Schaik, the leader. Oh, little love tap there on the wall for Jackson. You saw smoke and the sparks flying right off that one. Took a nice little chunk into that wall protection. He's going to have to be careful there. Well, I think it's about time we took a look at our best lap times of the day here. And really, I'm seeing a lot of 52s on this clock here. But in terms of the fastest, well, the fastest driver is the one that is piloting with a 52.30. And that's Bobby Wetzel in the number 9. How convenient, a number that has been made famous by Bill Elliott for his fastest lap time ever set on a track with like Talladega Super Speedway. Just so happens to be the guy that put everyone up to stuff and up to shame and threw them all onto the run. Christoph Hall, the number 44, going head-to-head now. Dayton Taylor. Dayton Taylor looks like he is right now either trying to save fuel or he is not catching much of a break or a breather from these guys. Seems like they're really forcing his hand quite a bit there. Just imagine every time you run each corner, just that tire wear and that burn up and flaring and the just continues to wear and tear out your equipment, starts to wear and tear out your mind a little bit. That's what it feels like inside that car and inside that cockpit right now. Christoph Hall now looking for a run, but up ahead, there's a bigger run going on. Sammy Harrell, Tyler Dalton, Charles Van Schaik for the lead. Dalton furious after that stage 2 mishap. Now takes control of this one, but he's got Sammy Harrell right on his back half there. Van Schaik losing some grip and losing some ground. He's trying to stick with Dalton. Dalton knows he can just need to use those two as a battering ram. And one another, and he'll jump ahead of him. Those two right now are currently forcing the dirty airflow to continuously manipulate and hurt their own chances to get back in the lead. But man, is it fun to look at a side-by-side battle on this track. Not often when you can get it, but man, when you can get it, you can get it. That's quite a show. Harrell at this moment, it looks like, I thought honestly is probably going to be taking a little bit more control of the race and taking a little bit more control of the gas given into him. But it looks like he's going to be using a little bit more than just that. It looks like he's going to be using some old bumper tricks here. Gives the old 23 the old chrome dome, trying to push him out of the way and get him up ahead so he can just get him a little more run. Forcing Charles to have to use the brakes, but that didn't quite go according to plan. And finally, Harrell getting a run right off that end of the corner there. It looked like he had to force Van Schaik as hard as he could. But he lost a lot of time just to get up there to Dalton. And Dalton is just continuing to make it a lot harder for him to keep up. Aaron Axel Jackson, Christoph Hall, all in top 5 seeding here. But it's now Hall who's looking to try to put him into the Axel top 5. Yeah, Big Art right now, I gotta believe, probably not too thrilled he's able to deal with what he's dealing with right now. It's not a whole lot you can do though. You just gotta try to take every little precaution and just continue to move the momentum up towards your rhythm and your round. Christoph Hall making a huge jump there in between, making every little race count in that mix. We got 43 laps remaining now. Now this is starting to become more treacherous than a minute. Let's take a look at lap times here for Harrell and Dalton. And you can see this is where the gap bridging up and taking control that soon helps out. Lap 66, the only time he lost any time off from Harrell, but I think really a lot of that had to do with the fact Schaik and Harrell were battling as hard as they did. I was going to say Jackson right now having a little bit more time to deal with Hall, Big Art, Furio, and Wetzel. They're all in that mix. You could hear that cutting on the throttle too, just entering in the corner. Over time, it does do a little bit of work because what it does is it forces the fuel to kind of save out a little bit by simply clutching it in. It just pretty much puts a damper on the brake. It puts a little bit more of a fuel run cell to it. That's the interesting part of it all. Big Art area right now, all in that plane going here. Charles Van Schuyck hit the pit road. He's going to get himself in quickly and proficiently. "41 laps left to go now. Looks like Jackson, Bigart getting a little bit more startled up. Both guys look like they're pretty much dead equal with one another here too. Seems to be the common thread. I think it's time too as well. We just take a little more camera here with the race leader. One thing you'll notice a lot always in these races is pit strategy and timing of the pits. But the other thing I think we really need to notice too is really where Dalton's getting all the speed from. He's catching the corners just right. He's just kind of lifting off when he has to. Then you can hear him actually shifting up and shifting down to burrow the speed and make sure that the car is on line where it needs to be. Watching every little detail, watching every little spot really helps him out with that kind of situation. Charles Van Schuyck's going to be in the way for him just for a second. And it looks like Dalton going to pit roads. Looks like he's trying to try his strategy out. Samuel Harrell going to become your new leader here. A very interesting playing field here as the rest of the field just continues to muscle their way around. Samuel Harrell still your race leader here. Win on lap number 57. Ron Holyfield, Tyler Dalton, Dayton Taylor, Charles Van Schaik, 73, 71, 72, respectively. 75 for Aaron Action, 72 for Aaron Action Jackson. Alan Wild going on lap 75 there. So very interesting, addictive decisions here from these guys. I think a lot of it has to just do with the overall strategy they want to put up. Here is your pit stop strategy presented by Cornhole Coffee. Remember, these are when everybody went into pit road, when everyone came out. You can see a lot of differing visions and perception here. Some working better than others, some perhaps not so much. Either way, you're all hitters on how long you can keep it going and how long you can keep the right style for. Obviously, the leaders have to go to pit road eventually, or have to make a decision when to go to pit road, but I think that's going to really make a big difference here for the long term. Which is, do you take the tires and the fuel, or are you just going to take that fuel and run off from there? Don't take tires, you're going to have a very tight car on your hands, as if the cars weren't hard enough to drive as it was. There he is. Looks like he's ready to pull the crossover out of the hat. He got a slingshot move. He got a slingshot pass, but falls victim to the outside. Hall makes it work down there. Shoots him up from the inside run and takes control. That's pretty impressive, honestly, when you think about it. Just having to take control there. Down the Wild Man Wild, number 22 now. Looks like he'll be used up as lap traffic with Bobby Wetzel trying to figure out who is going to be the better to go with. Yeah, I think he may have had his mind made up for him there. Okay, he was trying to stay in the draft. Started taking a little position there. It didn't quite work out. Reese Burnett knows right now with only 33 laps to go. Anything is possible here. Anything can happen. And Samuel Harrell well aware of that. Furley just trying to keep his emotions to himself, I bet. John Hagman Jr. What a great showing as well for the 60 Victrix machine. Has had nothing but bad luck this entire season. Today it seems like everything finally came full circle. Not only did it come full circle, but it also has worked out perfectly in his favor. And you can hear Wetzel as well, just kind of clutching the car in as much as he can. And it looks like Samuel Harrell finally going to go to pit road here. Trying to time it well, trying to time it right. Might be long enough to get him to the end here, but again, he's going to have a lot of work to do at Christoph Hall. A little bit of problems down there. Coming in from the pit end. Wait, where is he going? Where's Christoph Hall going here? What the heck? Oh, he's way off from the pits. Never mind. He's in the grass. There he goes. He got back in the normal pit road. How did he get all the way over there? Producers, go take a look at that one real quick, would you? We need to see that one in the replay here. I think he might have had a mistiming here from pit road. Alright, so he was in the pits, so this wasn't just a spin randomly. I think he might have forgot where he was going here. Oh yeah, oh that was a mischief right there. Misshifted, and then he put himself into a very awkward position there. Wetzel is your race leader. Tyler Dalton only about a good 2.5 seconds back, but 8 lap lesser tires. Sammy Harrell is going to be trying to catch him. Wetzel saving all he can right now, just trying to hope for a bit of a break, hope for a bit of shot in the dark, but again, he knows these other guys pretty much well and putly know what they're up to. Seen a good look there at Maurice Burnett as well as Stearns down there coming from pit road. Both guys really just at this point just hoping and praying that when the next season comes around they can get themselves quite a bit of a showing there. Their playoffs time could be at stake and it could be up for jeopardy. Quite a scene here to believe. Van Schaik and Dayton Taylor right now, they're having a little good roll in the race. They're rolling through the corners, they're building the speed, they're building the momentum when they need to. Sammy Harrell's strategy may not quite come out alright. Tyler Dalton right now has got a pretty good idea of what he's up to and what he wants to do here. Racked back behind Maurice Burnett, Philip Schmitz here. Gonna kind of climb through the gaps, through the ladders again. Schmitz hard charged in, and now he's gonna really be hard running. Run quick, run fast away from that 8, my friend. He made the mistake, you make the best of it, and that was exactly what he needed to do. And Wetzel now into pit road, so that will leave Dalton all alone yet again. But again, he's 5 seconds ahead of Samuel Harrell. And Harrell's not exactly going to give up, but Harrell also has company coming up on his end too. I got surprised how quick Taylor actually caught up there to Harrell. That's 8 lap different tire sets here. Samuel to me just seems like more and more he's trying to save up the equipment, trying to save up that last ditch effort run. Taylor looking to slingshot him. Gotta run through turn number 3. Harrell looking to try to fight him back. And he's not going to be able to. Dayton Taylor, beautiful pass. There's the run, there's the corner. That was a big move there again for Taylor to make that drive up to there to get to him, and now having to get to Dalton. I think where these gaps right now are kind of playing out at. Coming harder and harder to really make the best out of your racing runs. Nevertheless, we're down to the final 26 laps here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What a long, winding road this one's been. just thinking about this for a second too, with these race wins after Atlanta last week. Dalton has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 race wins, 59 points. I think honestly, Aaron, the gold standard Smith, has literally got himself like 11 or 12. I think it was 12 in total from that Truck Series season. I think Dalton, if he can win here, he's gonna start to be really looking more and more at that old statistic because he wants to change that up real quick. 59 points, just entering into the next round. When he finally gets to it, absolutely insane to believe. Van Schaik, by the way, making the run there on Sam Morrell and takes control. I'm surprised how slow Harrell has been from this leg of the race. We're going to take a look, see as well, did he take tires? No, it looks like he only took right side tires, not fore. That might be what's costing him here. Now it's Joe Hudson making the passes as Hudson tries to get a little bit closer to the edge of this. Pit stops now for Charles Van Schuyck now coming up. So it looks like those that went in there earlier now have a real tough challenge facing them here. Those that went in late obviously look like they are currently just trying to make the best out of their situation. Late pit stops, late strategies used up here, and these drivers now know they are in a bit of a world of trouble. Only got 19 laps left to go. Man, talk about a long distance travel these guys had to go through. Again, 112 laps here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. If we went a full 200, that would have been the actual Indy 500. Well, here we go, Dalton now to pit road. Taylor with him. You see Big Art there as well. Hickman Jr., Dario. Looks like Cameron Dario going to go one more lap around. Strategy here. Big strategy. That's a tough little call he's going to make here. He went on lap number 81 for his pit stop. So we'll see what his call is here when he does go into pit road. He's going to have to. A lot of drivers deciding to either go in quickly and early, or a lot of them deciding to kind of park it in whenever they felt like it. Guys like Sammy Morrell, who are leading out quite a bit of this race. Kind of on the receiving end is Aaron Action Jackson. Fars a right off turn number 4, but a foot forward to the floorboards for the 43. Lets him sink it in and lets him swim to the straight. Keeping the tires well acquainted for it, but a little bit of a tire rub there, unfortunately, may have slowed him up on the stretch there. Now to the corner, though. Just like that, a reverse of fortunes and a reverse of fates. Dario right now looking pretty solid. Looks like a little bit of a fight back there as well between Alan Wild and Richard Crane. Crane, I'm kind of surprised late in this race. Putting on the fire, putting on the burners for the Carvana number 36. But the wild man, Alan Wild, not exactly led him through that easily. You're on board with Crane. Crane playing a different strategy here than Alan Wild has done there when it comes to that straightaway move there. Crane deciding to go to the inside and then having to lock it up there before going into the outside lane, whereas for Wild, he decided to kind of be a little bit more particular and a little bit more acquaintative. Didn't decide to go and try to block him. Instead, just kind of kept him off his toes and kept him out of that draft. And Crane, though, seems to have worked quite well. Now down the straightaway yet again to that back half. Looking for the pass. Still nothing yet. That's a hard gap to get around too as Tyler Dalton gets back on the track here. These guys right now are absolutely fuming for any little additional speed, any additional little power they can get. Philip Schmitz, Cameron Dario, 81 and lap 80. The two went into pit road. Bobby Wetzel on lap 85, and I just don't think that's going to be enough to get through this one. Let's take a look at the pit stop timing strategy again. Started by Cornhole Coffee, and lap 24 laps. It's the most we've seen anyone get. There are 15 laps to go. That's pushing even for Wetzel there. Honestly, I don't think he's going to have enough time. I know Dario and Schmitz will not. I'm not saying they couldn't possibly throw a monkey wrench at this, but I just don't think that's going to play out the way they're looking for. So with 11 laps left to go, about to be timed up, this could be Schmitz's day all of a sudden now, as he has seen the fall of Cameron Dario there. I don't know if Schmitz is going to have enough, but man, he sure is trying. Tyler Dalton looks like he's kicking into overdrive right now, 52.27. That last lap he just did, that was the fastest lap of the day. Earlier, there was another driver that had a 52.30, but that has been trumped and trumpicated there. Nothing you can do about it. Well, Bobby Wetzel was the one that laid it down too. Wetzel right now, though, I gotta believe, probably just focusing on keeping a little bit of a pace and a little bit of a fuel mileage in there. But Philip Schmitz amidst defeat. It's gonna be Wetzel now to the chances. He's going to live and die by this run here. Schmitz got to believe that he thought it had a chance, had an opportunity, but he just couldn't get the fuel run to work in his favor. His chances were very slim, but a caution could have helped. Anything really could have helped in this case, but now he just has to sit and wonder what could have been. Dalton just waiting for Wetzel to make a mistake or have to go to pit road. Maybe to finally end out this race for him. Richard Crane hanging in the top 3 bracket now. Charles Van Schaik is trying to get up there to him with about a 3.2 second gap. Down to the final 9 laps this time on by Bobby Wetzel. Just absolutely, desperately wants to finally get the win in, get the chance he's been looking for. Don't let it sneak into you, just let it stay focused on your day, sir. 8 now turns to 7 laps left. Next time by. This is starting to get interesting here. You can see now even more runs coming up. Van Schaik slowly creeping there on Crane. Big run jumping up. Crane trying to stay out of the way. Does stay out of the way at least long enough for Schaik to make the jump. And now Cameron Dario fighting with John Hickman Jr. back there. Both guys looking just to see who gets the better of the other. And it looks like Crane also going to the pit road, so it looks like he tried and he did not successfully commend it. Yeah, you can't blame him for what he tried there, but man, just did not do exactly what he was hoping for. Wetzel, oh man, I gotta believe he is just hoping for and praying for this. Dalton, though, he's not wasting time. He's got about a 2 2/10 now, gapped up. The bridge starting to fade, and it's starting to sway more towards his end of the bargain. Now only a 2 behind, and they're not even coming down to the final corners here. Wetzel is hurting. He has got to be just mesmerly out of his pace, out of his wits' end. There is Dalton, and you know what's coming next. Top 5 on the screen. Tyler Dalton looking to take control of this win yet again. Main drivers said they were worried about Indy, and they were worried about how hard would it be to get everything figured out. Many were not ready for it, and it looks like we can see why that is now. This man literally may be unstoppable, guys. We'll see if Wetzel can hold him off. I don't think he's going to be able to. He's coming right on his corner. Even if he does get him off the corners, straights are where he's losing so much power and speed from. 5 laps now, turns to 4. Dalton, whoo boy, he's trying. He's looking, he's trying to clear him. Wetzel blocking though. Wetzel knows he can't let him through, and now he's gonna draft him on a big fight. Foul to the backstretch. And Dalton, hard charge, coming for the corner. Trying to make the run off. No, Wetzel blocks. He gets a little help from Alan Wild there. And now Dalton, oh, gets it right into it there off the corner panel. Both drivers are okay. Dalton was not expecting Wetzel to fight like that. That is now turning into a bit of a rivalry, a brewing for that one. Those are teammate drivers, by the way, and they don't seem to really care too much. Dalton does not want to be in this situation, but Wetzel knows if he lets himself just a slight bit off the base, off that ground, he'll lose the clearance and he'll lose his run. It's a chance of a lifetime to get to the playoffs, but he now gets trapped. Dalton got him there on the stretch. Pulling ahead slightly to the turn. Wetzel trying to close it. He can't close the gap enough though. Dalton is going to get him. Credit where credit's due to Wetzel, but man, Dalton just is a reign of terror. A terrifying force that just disposes anything that even comes in its wake. Yeah, with this win number 9 is looking more and more legit. A power off move and a power off drive gives it this chance, gets him to the opportunity of a lifetime. He just needs to get it to the end. Well, Indianapolis, we've had a long, grueling fight out, but this is your white flag lap presented by Global Strategy Team. Alan Wild just looking to stay away from Dalton here. Doesn't need to be doing anything too crazy. Looks like he still wants to have a little fun tracing him out here. Dalton's just going to back out. He knows he doesn't have anything left to lose or worry about. Wetzel's already scrambling to catch up. Amazing how far that top 5 got separated out from the race lead to the top spots. Tyler Dalton from turn 3 to corner number 4. This will indeed be win number 9. The reign of terror will continue in. The playoffs begin next week. And Tyler Dalton's coming out on top. And I heard Wetzel literally just coming to the line, losing all his fuel. He had nothing left under the tank there. What a race, though. Another satisfying triumph for the 19. Perhaps not to the other drivers, but to him, that's all that matters. He don't care about the rest. I think there's going to be some brick kissing today for that 19 team. Dalton straight shoots this one to the end to victory lane in a wild, wild end between him and Wetzel there. That could have gone either way had some little thing went wrong. Works out okay in his favor. Race results on your screen. Presented by Jack Racing Collectibles. Your winner today, Tyler Dalton, that will keep the reign of terror going for just a little longer. 9 wins now. Bobby Wetzel, second place. Dayton Taylor, third. Charles Van Slyke, fourth. Fifth to Cameron Dario. Sixth to John Higman Jr. Seventh to Samuel Orell. Eighth to Philip Schmitz. Ninth to Maurice Burnett. 10th to Alan Wild. That will round out your field. Wow, that was a race, folks. That was a long, grueling battle to the end, which sees the reign of terror once again on top. Time to talk to the top 3 drivers here now as they join me here. Ladies and gentlemen, Dayton Taylor coming out first here into victory lane and in third place today. Dayton, congratulations coming out for a nice drive there. He started in the top spot. Looked for the win, as I was trying to mention there, and then ended up kind of getting trapped in the wrong time, the wrong place. What went down there for this third place today?
Well, Tyler and them didn't take tires stage 1, so I was like, all right, well, we're already a set behind. And then that caution comes out in stage 2, which if it doesn't come out, we get that stage win pretty easily. So it's a little aggravating, but can't be mad with a P3. Should have been P2, but Bobby somehow managed to go 28 laps on a tank, so fair play, I guess. Other than that, tried to send it to the fences every lap to gain those 8 seconds back on Tyler.
Yeah, definitely had to make a little bit of a drive off and had to get a little bit get and ground there. I know obviously you had a lot of power there in that 45. Had the fuel line, the cells kind of been played more out your way, would that have been something you were really looking for there?
Um, I didn't even think stretching at 28 laps was gonna be possible. I feel like 24 was even a little bit of a stretch because yeah, but I think he got behind Allen, was able to save behind Allen for like 20 laps or whatever it was. So yeah, he got caught in draft, so it blessed him a little bit. It's a little aggravating, but it's what it is. What it is.
Yeah, I can see that being the case there, but Aiden, you're still bringing home a third place today. Who do you want to thank her for this one?
Uh, Joseph again spotting me. Um, it was looking good until it wasn't. So yeah,
Well, Aiden, the playoffs begin next week. We certainly hope to see you there, but congratulations bringing home a podium today, sir.
thank you.
Yeah, I can hear you can hear a little bit of that note in his voice there, a little sad and unfortunate. I think we'll get maybe a little bit of a different tone from Bobby Wetzel here, though. Bobby, man, what a show there you put on, guys. Put on a great little battle, throwed everything to the wire. And the last couple laps, I'm going to ask that later, but I mean, talk about this race just from the early portions to where you were at from going to the lead.
Well, the race was actually interesting. That first run we had, I ran it pretty hard and had to get tires, so that kind of put us behind the 8 ball. But about halfway through, I started thinking, I was like, I think I can make this on that final stop. If I saved enough fuel, I think I can go 1 pit stop instead of 2 like the rest of the guys. And I was like, well, roll the dice and see how it happens. And I came close.
Yeah, it came close, and I'll ask this too. I mean, you came close to a lot of other things there. You and Tyler Dalton, I don't know what the heck was with you two there going to the last couple laps, but man, I would just see you two just pounding away and taking each other to the line there, and it looked like really at some point you may have had a chance. Was that kind of the case, or and he was just going to try to find a way to muscle around you eventually?
I knew he was going to get around me, so I was just throwing any kind of half-hearted block at him, and he was understanding that I was saving fuel, so he kind of understood that I'm not trying, but I'm trying. So he just, we were just playing with each other, just having fun out there.
Well, he certainly looked like he had a lot of fun with it. So, who do you want to thank here today for this?
I got to thank my Sim 500 team, Goat Racing, of course. They put on an amazing race. They've got an amazing series. The strategy that comes with the limited tires is amazing. And I mean, what do we have? 2 cautions at 112 laps in Indy. I mean, that's impressive right there alone. And really, besides that, North Coast Veterans Museum and Crypto Enterprises.
Well, that's safe to say, Bobby, and put in quite a run and quite a day today. Congratulations for going second place in this one today.
Yeah, that was amazing. 26 laps on a tank of gas there at the end, and woof, right to the end.
Right to the end. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man.
Bobby Wetzel, definitely chirpy as can be, but this guy right here, I think he's probably more excited than every one of them because he is the winner here at the Brickyard after kissing a few bricks and taking a few home. Dalton, 9 wins this season. You've lived up to the nickname, sir.
Yeah, I'm happy to get the win tonight. I had to play a little bit of strategy there, pretty much throw away stage 2 so we could have enough tires for the last stage. But honestly, it was really close not to even run in tonight. During practice, found out a pet died. So I had to go out and help bury it during practice, and then came back with like 15 minutes left. I'm like, do I want to run? And I ended up running, just get my mind off things, and I guess that was a good thing. But it's sort of a bittersweet day.
Yeah, a bit of a bittersweet day indeed. I know what it's like to have the loss of a pet in the family household, and I obviously know that that pet probably was in the back seat there, just kind of keeping you a little chirpish and kind of keeping you on your toes there. But I mean, man, that be able to come out here now, this regular season win championship, the regular season championship belongs to you. One last championship to go, playoffs in sight, man. How does that kind of feel in that set for you this time around?
Yeah, it's definitely great and get all those bonus points, those playoff points. Pretty much will almost give us a one race cushion. we can have a bad race and not have to worry about things. So that definitely helps. I don't think anyone else was pretty close to us in bonus points. So hopefully we can get to Phoenix and we can figure out how to run Phoenix. Like I said before, I hate that track. So if we get to the point where I look like we're gonna make Phoenix, I'll be spending a lot of time testing there.
For sure there. Well, Dalton, I'll ask you this, sir. Who do you want to thank here for this final race win and the regular season points championship, I should say?
I thank all my teammates down there in the Sim 500 Mafia. Hell of a job there with Bobby's part, managing to save that much fuel. I didn't think there's no way he could make it. He had a really good run. John Higman had a good run. But all the teammates down there all season long, all the GOAT admins and the Sim 500 admins for putting these races on, and you for broadcasting.
For sure there, Tyler, man. Congratulations on bringing this on home to victory lane again, sir.
Thank you.
The reign of terror strikes once more. That caps off the night, race fans. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks again to Jack Racing Collectibles, Global Strategy Team, and Cornhole Coffee for their support. Fans, it's been fun to race tomorrow. Doubleheader. It should be an interesting one. We'll see you then here on Pizza Race TV.